Morning Coffee with Pizzon Academy. I'm Deanna, and this is Morning Coffee Texas Edition. We've been in Texas for a week. This is our last day here, so I thought I would share a little bit of what we've been doing and some amazing things that we've seen, as well as, we talked about tips that you can do while you're traveling, and so we put it into action this week and let you know how that went for us. So we started out in Houston, and that's where we flew in, and my husband was working, so I spent a very cold, rainy day at the Museum of Fine Arts in Houston. And on my way there, I looked up to see if there was a bookstore, because that is something that I always do, is like to visit the independent bookstore in the local area, and found this amazing, sweet bookstore called the Blue Willow Bookstore, and a small shop, but absolutely lovely women that I had so much fun talking to. And these are the experiences that can really make travel rich and just a little more engaging. And then next to the bookstore was an antique mall, and it had just opened, but that was so much fun to browse through and see the types of things that they had, because a lot of times what antique stores will have is kind of regional. So they had some quirky Texas things, historic books on Texas, and that's not something that I get normally in the Pacific Northwest or even where I lived before in California. So that was really fun to look through. And then I continued my journey, got to the Museum of Fine Arts in Houston, and it is a lovely museum. This is a museum that I've been wanting to go to since I was in grad school, knowing that they had some amazing things from ancient Egypt. And I studied Egyptology and classical Greece and Rome in college. And so I was so excited. And it was interesting because I learned something. I saw something that they have in their collection. And there are only about 83 of these objects that have survived the test of time. And they're over, 3,000 years old. And what it is called a grain mummy. The ancient Egyptian god Horus looked like a hawk, and so it looks like a mummified hawk, but instead of being animal bones inside, it's just grasses and grains. And this was something to ensure that they would have a good harvest. Horus was in charge of overseeing the land of the living. And so this was a way of the ancient Egyptians praying to the god and ensuring that they would have enough bounty to last them. And that was so exciting because I've studied Egypt and ancient Egypt for so many years. And just to walk into a museum and to learn something new was so fun. And that's something that you can definitely share with your kids as well. As I went through, I started in the ancient world, and then I went through into the Byzantine and medieval Europe, and they just have beautiful works. And it's just such a joy to spend time looking and reading the wall text and learning and observing history as it unfolds through art. And this is, again, something that is really enriching that you can do with your kids. And if you check in at the front desk, they often have a map or an activity that you can ask if they have something for kids, and it's a way to enrich the kids as well. Or you can go back to one of our earlier videos and look at one of our checklists and print out a checklist or an activity that you can give your kid. Maybe have them find each color of the rainbow, make it interesting. So they're also looking at art. And then you can talk about maybe how things change over time, how different people are depicted, the clothes that they're wearing, even hairstyles. And it's a really fun family activity. So we left Houston and we drove up to Austin, and we're staying with a really good friend of ours. And so this is our set today, is her house. And while in Austin, I looked up online to see if there was anything interesting here. Now, they also have an art museum that I've been to a couple of times, but I wanted to see something new. So at the University of Texas in Austin, at the Harry Ransom Center, they have an amazing collection of books, first editions. They have some really old prints and leaves of medieval manuscripts. They even actually have medieval manuscripts. So I thought it would be fun to go there and see their collection. And the first thing that we saw was the Gutenberg Bible. They have one of about only 7 or 8 that are in the United States. And we're going to have a little video about that, so I don't want to tell you too much. But the Gutenberg Bible is just an amazing piece of history. It shows the first technical technology of printing, the line type printing, and it has 42 lines and it's a very large book. But this allowed information to be disseminated so much easier. Instead of just the monks in the monasteries or people having to hand letter books, this allowed ideas to spread so quickly. And then from there, we saw some first editions and some prints of Hemingway and Fitzgerald. We saw an advanced copy of The Little Prince, and they also had an exhibit, which is what caught my eye, called Austen and Austen. And there was an amazing exhibit of Jane Austen books, and we're going to do a whole video on Jane Austen and some other events that we've been to, so you can keep an eye out for that. But these are the types of activities that you can do and are pretty easy to find. The Harry Ransom Center was free. They asked for a donation, so we put in a donation. But there are a lot of free activities that you can do, and this is a way to enrich your trip and have teaching moments without it seem like school, right? So it's just really fun to do with a family or even with friends and see these works of history unfold right in front of you. If you're enjoying our videos, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell. We also have links to our social media in the description. I'm heading back to Seattle today, so if you're traveling for the holidays, I hope you have a wonderful time. Find something fun and educational to do and sneak that in for the kids. And we'll see you when we're back in Seattle.